President Putin and the revival of the Russian bear. On December 25, 1991, President Gorbachev announced his resignation. The Soviet Union officially collapsed and thus ended the largest and most influential regime in the world. Millions of ethnic Russians suddenly found themselves living in newly established countries. Russian President Boris Yeltsin, a pro-Western figure, held supreme power. During Yeltsin's era, he borrowed $40 billion from the IMF and other international financial organizations to consolidate his power. Some Russians believe that this borrowing was merely a carefully calculated conspiracy planned in advance. In 1998, an economic and political crisis emerged when the government defaulted and Russia's economy and the ruble completely collapsed. The credit for this, of course, went to Boris Yeltsin. And the president known for his impulsiveness, alcoholism, and boundless destructive capability. He squandered almost all of the Soviet Union's legacy. The largest and most profitable industry of the Russian Federation, oil and gas, also disintegrated, sold off cheaply as if for free. Roman Abramovich, a young Jewish businessman, married Yeltsin's niece and was given an oil company as a dowry, becoming a billionaire overnight. Berezovsky, Yeltsin's right-hand man during the 1991 presidential election, also received 2 oil companies and was promoted to deputy prime minister. Russia continued to fragment, falling into chaos like the post-Soviet era. But a surprise occurred. Boris Yeltsin decided to support a young successor, Vladimir Putin, then the director of the FSB security agency and a former KGB colonel. On August 9, 1999, Boris Yeltsin announced on television that he had chosen Putin as prime minister and his successor. In 2000, Putin officially took office as president of the Russian Federation. At that time, Russia was mired in crisis. The parliament was divided. Pensioners had gone 6 months without pay. The ruble had lost its value. Missile tests failed. Submarines malfunctioned, and spacecraft exploded. The situation was extremely bleak. The West mocked. What can a KGB colonel possibly do? But they were wrong. The first thing Putin did was tighten control over the military, securing absolute command. The second was to revive the economy. His stance was clear. Russia's assets must belong to Russia. In 2003, Putin summoned all of Russia's major oligarchs for a meeting about taxation. He said, "I don't care how you became billionaires, but if you continue to evade taxes, you have 2 choices. 1, go to prison. 2, be shot dead." I'm not joking. Some believed him, others did not. Abramovich believed and cooperated, losing part of his wealth, but safely withdrawing from politics, moving to England to become the owner of Chelsea Football Club. Others were not so fortunate. Mikhail Khodorkovsky, the head of Yukos Oil Company and the richest man in Russia, was sentenced to 18 years in prison for tax evasion. Berezovsky fled to England and later died in his home. Boris Nemtsov, an opposition politician, was assassinated near the Kremlin in 2015. The United States and the West reacted strongly, demanding an investigation. Putin called it a brutal murder and ordered an inquiry conducted in Russia's own way. Through firm measures and strategic vision, Putin led Russia out of crisis. From a nation on the brink of collapse, Russia gradually revived. Its economy recovered, its military grew stronger, and its international standing was restored.